Well, first of all, good afternoon to you all for being with us today. My name is Steve Dillard. I am the Senior Law Enforcement Liaison for the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. We really appreciate the Dillis, I hope I said that right, Dillis Springs Elementary School for allowing us to be here today while we conduct this press event. We've got several people that are here today that is going to talk to you a little bit about Roane County. And we want to share with you some things that we're looking at doing to try to help some of the problems that we've addressed that's going on our roadways in Roane County itself. I want to first say that I appreciate Major Tim Spicer with the THP command staff for being with us today. I appreciate Captain Heatherly and her staff for being supportive of this event. I appreciate Chief Deputy Tim HAWN that will be one of the speakers. He is with the Roane County Sheriff's Office. We appreciate ADA Joe Caldwell and Holly Miller. She's over there on the left. She's a DUI coordinator for this area. And for the media to know, we do have our Public Information Officer, Ariel Tapson, that is present and will be here to assist you as we go forward with this event. And I also want to thank our Cumberland Region Law Enforcement Liaison, Aaron Loden, who's come down to participate, and the network coordinator for this area, Matt Johnston. We definitely know that there's some things going on our roadways in Roane County. And one of the things that we've been working on since about the end of November of last year is addressing these issues that we see and wanting to be the right partner to help these agencies as they go through dealing with these fatalities. Our director, Buddy Lewis, had a mission to really see our fatality numbers see a reduction for 2023, and he has spearheaded a lot of this activity that we're doing, not only in East Tennessee, but across the entire state of Tennessee. So today you're going to hear different things about what's happening. You're going to hear some data, and if anything, we want to leave a message to our driving public that your life means a lot to us. We want you to be safe. We want you to travel to and from wherever you're at in Roane County to get safely to your location. But as everything else happens, we know there's behavioral problems with people driving, and that will probably be addressed here momentarily as well. So I want to thank our media partners. Thank you all for being here today, for taking the time to cover this, and hopefully we'll be able to provide some good information for each of you all to share with your respective areas. So I'm pleased right now to introduce our first speaker for this event. He's the director for the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and I'm very proud to have Buddy Lewis with us. Director.
Thank you, Steve, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Buddy Lewis, and I am the director of the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and I'm honored to be in that position. And on behalf of Commissioner Jeff Long, the Commissioner of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security, we want to welcome our partners here today, and we value the partnerships that we have across the state of Tennessee and appreciate the support and the dedication in saving lives on our roadways in Tennessee. The purpose of this event here today is to address recent increase of traffic fatalities in Roane County. And our speakers today will share crash data, upcoming enforcement efforts, and safe driving tips to help to prevent future injuries and fatalities, particularly here in Roane County. All we're asking of our local citizens and members of our community is to assist us in protecting the Tennessee roadways by exercising due care and obeying all traffic laws. All traffic crashes can be prevented with safe driving habits. And some of those safe driving tips are never drink and drive, slow down, pay attention, don't text and drive, and buckle up every trip, every time. We are very appreciative of the media being here today to help us bring awareness to the community here in Roane County and to talk about what we are asking everyone to help us do across the roadways in Roane County and across the state of Tennessee to reduce traffic fatalities and save lives. So We are appreciative of being here today. We appreciate very much Roane County hosting this and Captain Heather Lee being involved and THP being involved, and all law enforcement agencies across Roane County and across the state of Tennessee partnering with what we do, and that is to make certain that the behavior on Tennessee roadways is a safe behavior every time they get behind the wheel. So at this time, I'll turn it back over to Steve. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Trooper CLINT McKISSACK of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. I work here in the Knoxville District. Again, we want to thank you all for being here as members of the media. As troopers, it's a one person at the time deal. We find a traffic violation, we try to educate the driver and send them on their way. By having you here, we're obviously able to reach quite a few more people and hopefully have an impact. Like Director Lewis said, you know, our goal here is to reduce crashes and especially traffic fatalities throughout Tennessee. As he mentioned earlier, one of the things I was discussing with Sergeant Clendenin, who is our sergeant here in the Knoxville District, was the big four. As Director Lewis mentioned earlier, seat belts, encouraging drivers to wear their seat belts and enforcing seat belt laws, speeding, distracted driving, and impaired driving. With those four things, we feel like that would make a huge difference. Obviously, Director Lewis mentioned about not texting and driving. That's always been a huge issue with our cell phones. As we know, everything's on our cell phone. We live in a society now where people want that information quickly, and we just want people to understand while you're driving, being that is one of the most dangerous things that you do every day, that is not an appropriate time to be on your cell phone. Roane County specifically, we have found there have been 11 total crashes, and some of those were not investigated by the Tennessee Highway Patrol. They were investigated by local agencies here. But we did find that 3 of those occurred on I-40. Now, these numbers are just from March of last year in 2022 until March of this year. 3 of those on I-40. We've had 2 on Gallagher Road, and we've had 3 on Highway 27. Now, like I said, a total of 11 crashes, but those are areas where we've identified more than one fatal. In general, your most dangerous roadways are ones where there's a higher traffic volume. And I think you can see that for obvious reasons. More people, more traffic, you end up with more crashes and potentially more fatals. What we're doing in those areas to try to have an influence on people's driving behaviors is adding more troopers. Our legislators and our governor has been working diligently to get troopers on the roadway. So far, we've got 100 new troopers throughout the state. And right now they're working on legislation to get an additional 100 to include some supervisors. And I think that you all know that just having a trooper in the area makes a lot of difference. If you've ever been driving down the road or seen a vehicle in front of you that might be speeding and they come over a hill and see a state trooper sitting on the road, you'll see their brake lights. It has an impact. And that is probably the first line of defense there against traffic fatalities, is just having that presence. And it's not just the presence of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, it's the presence of these other local agencies. When you see that patrol car, you think, am my seatbelt on? How's my speed? Put my cell phone down. If you are engaging in behaviors that are detrimental to you and the other drivers out on the roadway, it certainly is going to have an impact. So that's one of the ways that we're going to address the situation here in Roane County during those peak times. Now, speaking on peak times, Director Lewis and Mr. Dillard had mentioned about the data. If you can go to Google, type in Tennessee crash data, it's going to take you to our website, and you can go through there and put in specific date ranges. This is open to the media and the public. You can look up fatal crashes in just Roane County. Anywhere you take a notion to go and discover what's going on, goes into some pretty good detail. It shows it, flags it on a map. Causations, I mean, you can really get some very excellent breakdowns of what's going on and where it's happening. And as the news and the media and the people watching this, I certainly encourage you to go and look at that and be mindful of it. We're thankful for the partnerships of these people behind me and some others that aren't in attendance. You know, we have the Roane County Sheriff's Department, Rockwood Police Department, Kingston Police Department, the Harriman Police Department, Oliver Springs, and Oak Ridge Police Departments. And I want to mention them all by name because the Tennessee Highway Patrol is going to do what they can, but we can only do that as a team with these other agencies. It's a partnership. Our goal is to save lives, not to come in here and take over. We're a partner for them. Our Our goal is to get out here on these roads and work with them closely to do what we can to reduce fatalities in this area. And then as far as the community buy-in, we would certainly hope that if you're watching this and you are riding with someone or your coworkers and you notice that they have some behaviors that I mentioned before, they speed or they're on their phone or not wearing their seatbelt, have a talk with them. Encourage them to not engage in that type of behavior because of the dangers, and just let them know that you love them and you want them to be safe when they're out on the road. And you mentioned that about seatbelts, and it's something very simple, and it doesn't take quite a lot of time to just put your seatbelt on. And most recently is one of our troopers back here, Trooper Decker, investigated on the 21st on Interstate 40 at the 362. We had a rollover crash. It was a 45-year-old man that lost his life. He was ejected from the vehicle. So if you don't think that a seatbelt can make a difference, go and have a discussion with his family about that, okay? It doesn't guarantee that you will survive, but it gives you one more chance. Kind of like locking your doors when you get in your car. A lot of the cars are auto-locked. You're 10% more likely to survive a rollover crash just having your doors locked on your vehicle. As you know, if those cars roll over, the doors will come open. It's very unfortunate that man lost his life, and that family now has that loss. And that's one of the things that we want the community and families to be thinking about is who you're leaving behind. Because that seatbelt gives you that chance, and I'm sure that they prayed for one more chance to speak with him. So, of course, be mindful of those 4 things. Distracted driving, put your cell phone down, makeup, anything like that that takes your attention away from the roadway. Slow your speed, of course. Wear your seatbelt. And I think that if you'll do those things, that'll make a huge difference in lowering those fatals. But again, Tennessee Highway Patrol will be out in force. The last of those 4 is impaired driving. If you are using anything that alters your ability to operate a motor vehicle, get a ride share, call a friend, figure out a way to get home other than getting behind the wheel of a car. And we know, as you've seen many times, how that can impact not just their life, but the lives of others. Just more recently, Sergeant Jenkins in Loudoun County, he was killed by an impaired driver on Interstate 75 northbound, removing a ladder from the roadway. So be mindful of those things. Again, if you want to go and look at some of the numbers of the 11 crashes and discover more about where those individually were, I know I just listed the ones for I-40 Gallagher Road and Highway 27. It's pretty easy to do so, and if you have any questions about that, certainly reach out to me. I can walk you through how to operate that system and get that data for yourselves, okay? Thank you.
My name is Tim HAWN. I'm with the Roane County Sheriff's Office, the Chief Deputy there. I want to thank Steve Dillard and Buddy Lewis for organizing this event and inviting me here today to speak. I also want to thank Captain Stacy Heatherly for the continued support that she and the Tennessee Highway Patrol provides to the Roane County Sheriff's Office. We do a lot of work together to keep the roads through Roane County safe as we possibly can. The number of crashes, total number of crashes, and the total number of fatalities in Roane County are up from last year. And we, the Sheriff's Office, is working diligently through increased traffic patrols, through the THSO enforcement grants, and also to provide information through our social media. And our goal is to reduce those numbers and save lives. One of the hardest jobs that a police officer has is to go to that family and notify them that their loved one is not coming home. And like Trooper McKissack said, our numbers are up on fatalities, and that's 11 plus families that's been affected by crashes in Roane County. If we, as a partnership with the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and the Roane County Sheriff's Office, we can bring attention to driver errors and provide education to prevent and reduce our total number of crashes and fatalities in Roane County. And together, we can keep our drivers safe, we can keep our drivers alive. And that's what the goal is each year for the Sheriff's Office, for Rockwood, Harriman, Kingston, Oak Ridge Police Departments, Oliver Springs Police Departments. Like it was said earlier, we're all a team. We all work at this together. Our focus is to keep our drivers safe on our roadways. We do that through education and enforcement action. I want to also say to Captain Heatherly, she's took a step with the Highway Patrol of allowing troopers, whenever they have a free moment, to come through our schools as a secondary safety device, if you will, to assist our school resource officers. And it's greatly appreciated because our school resource officers have a lot on their plate at these schools. Their job is to keep the peace. Their job is to keep the schools safe. And their job is to be that mentor to that child, no matter what grade. So it's very appreciative whenever we have extra eyes inside the schools to help us. Thank you very much.
One of the most important areas for all the law enforcement agencies is to have the relationship with the district attorney's office. And the gentleman that's with us today is Assistant District Attorney Joe Caldwell. He's with the Tennessee Judicial District 9. And you couldn't ask for anybody better to support law enforcement than Joe Caldwell. In the midst of our group, we've got one of our drug recognition experts, John Mays, that's attending with us today. And Joe and John work very good together as far as their relationship, and especially when events occur across the state. So, Joe, we're glad to have you with us. We'd like you to share a few thoughts.
My name is Joe Caldwell. I'm an assistant district attorney in the 9th Judicial District. The elected DA in that district is Russell Johnson. We happen to serve Roane, Loudoun, Morgan, and Meigs counties. So Roane County is one of 4 of the counties that our office handles all of the cases. And to be honest with you, I don't have anything prepared for today. I drove out here from a court this morning, and on the way out here to beautiful DILLARD, I came across 4 fatality scenes just coming from court that our office has prosecuted this morning, that our office had prosecuted over the past 8 years. And that was just a one drive on a one day. I know that my boss, Russell Johnson, is committed to prosecuting these type of cases, including impairment cases. And as I made that drive and as I passed these 4 sites and my mind started racing, it made me realize what I wanted to say to you guys today. And what I want to say is that the quiet heroes that you see back here and the first responders and all of the law enforcement, not only in this county, but in all of East Tennessee, are the true heroes, the ones that are going into the fire. They're the ones in the trenches that are out here trying to make our highways and roadways safe. And if you can't tell, I'm obviously passionate about what we do here. And we are a team. And we couldn't do it without each other. We couldn't do it without the Rockwood Police Department, without the Oliver Springs Police Department, without the Harriman Police Department, without the Kingston Police Department, without the Roane County Sheriff's Office, without the Tennessee Highway Patrol. We are a partnership, and it is important for us to make sure that we keep that line of communication and that teamwork throughout. And so if you can tell, I get a little emotional about it, but it's because I know how hard all of these folks work, and the people who aren't standing behind me or standing up here on this podium, and I know how our office supports what all of us are trying to do, and that is to keep East Tennessee and Roane County safe. Thank you.
So in closing, you see that we're coming together as a group to try our best to reduce some of these issues we're seeing in Roane County. As Director Lewis says so often, one life lost is one too many. And probably the biggest challenge for each of us is having to make those death notifications when something does happen bad. And we like to see that decreased or really just go away. But during this time, we ask our driving motorists, our public, to adhere to the messages that we shared with you a few moments ago. We do care about your life. We care about you getting to where you're going. And wherever you travel across the state of Tennessee, we're going to be out there doing our best to make your commute safe for you and for everyone else. I want to thank the media again for being here. Thank you for taking the time from your schedule to cover this. We hope that that folks will be able to hear your message as well. So thank you all. Major Spicer, welcome to East Tennessee. Glad to have you up here, sir. Absolutely. And Director, was there anything else you would like to say before we close out or anything?
I would just like to just say this, that I appreciate your passion in prosecution, because that is very, very important. You know, the work is done out on the road, but when it gets into a courtroom, you've got to appreciate the fact that you have a prosecutor that's going to be so passionate about doing their job. So we thank you and your entire staff for what you do. Thank you very much. I just want to close by saying this. You know, as we've talked about numbers across the state of Tennessee, fatality numbers, you know, it's just stated, each fatality number is a person. It represents a family member that won't be at a special event with that family in the upcoming days or months or even years. So we want to make certain that we don't just look at numbers. I look at the fatality, total number of fatality numbers each and every day that come into my office. And I try to look at that and not see just a number, but see a person, a human being, and what would it feel like if one of those numbers was a member of my family. And that's why I want everyone to understand that we're reaching in the community and across the state, that those numbers one day could be a family member of yours if we don't pay attention to what we're doing on the roadways. And that's why we're here today, to bring notice and to let people know the seriousness and the dangers of doing terrible, dumb things while you're driving a car, and that can make a difference in not just someone else's life, but the life of a family member of yours. So we just want to get that message out. Every time I get an opportunity to say what I'm fixing to say, I do. But traffic safety is public safety. We talk about public safety across the state of Tennessee and across our country, but we're having people killed every day on the roadways of Tennessee and across our nation. Traffic safety is public safety. So if we can just get that message out, maybe our motorists will understand that we're here to help them, and all we're asking is for them to allow us to help them by driving and obeying the traffic laws in Tennessee. And that's all I have. Thank you all very much.